Hello there!
I'm Emily.
And I'm Kayla.
And we just want to talk movies for a fourth season.
We're still wanting to talk about movies.
We're still alive.
Yes, we're alive. The world is crazy. We took a, 2-month break? Over 2 months.
Yeah.
Things be crazy. Yeah. Listen, I'm back in America, but we already established that in the last episode, right? I'm sorry, I can't even remember what happened. What we're gonna talk about today? What are we talking about today, Emily?
We're just catching up. It's a casual episode about what we've been watching the past few months that you've not heard from us, because I know everyone's dying to hear what we're up to because we're so interesting.
But before that, any news, Emily?
News? I don't watch the news. As I follow Nicholas Galitzine, as you all know, because I love him. His new movie, 100 Nights of Hero, is coming out this year, December 5th, which is my birthday weekend. So I'm hoping that it will be in my theater, but
Doubtful.
But it's nice to know it's coming out, and hopefully I will be able to see it soon. I watched a trailer, watched a couple clips. It looks really weird, but it could be really cool.
It sounded interesting to me. I would like to check it out.
It's based on a graphic novel, I guess.
Oh, you and your graphic novel adaptations.
I'm telling you, we're gonna get into. I'm gonna discuss some things, but I've been very much into the graphic novel sphere as of late.
You have. All right. Well,
I can think of.
I don't have any recent news, but if any of you have been listening loyally, you know that it's been a big couple months for me. One, we got our first teaser of Stranger Things Season 5, which was so epic and filled me with so much excitement. And I remember the day it came out, I drove to my grandparents' house and put on the soundtrack of Season 4, and I was like, this is my show! And so it was a great day for me. And then, not even long after, we got our first little tease of Season 3 of Interview with a Vampire. And Emily knows how crazy I was going that day. San Diego Comic-Con feeds us well. I feel bad for anyone who is not a fan of Interview with a Vampire when San Diego Comic-Con comes around, because they make sure that it's an event every year. And it sure was an event this year. So, anyway, all this to say, I'm excited, and I will be talking a lot about both of these shows as we learn more news. No more Stranger Things news, I guess, other than that. I don't get to do my sting, because
Dang.
I already just gave the big news, but we'll certainly get back into it.
There will be more stings, but then, after it comes out,
there will be no more
stings.
stings. I'll have to do an Interview with a Vampire sting.
Yeah. So, I guess we will begin.
Yes.
Well, we've seen some things in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there weren't a lot of summer blockbusters that I cared about. It was some superhero stuff.
There were a lot of blockbusters, but we didn't see very many of them.
Yeah. What was the first thing we saw in the summer?
So 28 years later.
Did we speak of that? No.
I don't think so. I think that
came out later.
Yeah, we recorded like the day after I got back or something. And that movie, I really liked it. The ending was wild. I don't know what that was. I don't know what was that, guys.
I didn't know what was going on. It felt like the people from the theater in Interview with the Vampire all of a sudden came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is that theater troupe." The theater troupe.
They were whack, which is like my kind of thing. So I was like, I'm intrigued, but it was a very sudden tonal shift, and it was definitely intentional to like make you go like, whoa, they're going somewhere else with this. But it was definitely strange. I liked the rest of the movie. I still think the first one was far better, but I thought it was a pretty tight story. I really liked Voldemort's character. And the production design was good. The bone towers, that was pretty cool. It had a good emotional story, like character-driven story too. So I was seated. I did fall asleep a little bit, but that's just because I was jet lagged, everyone. That's just because I was jet lagged.
And you were starting to realize that Aaron Taylor Johnson wasn't going to be in it anymore, and you're like, okay, I think I can snooze.
And I didn't want to see him anyway, because I was like, you're a jerk in this movie. And also, I like Jodie Comer, too, so, you know, one eye candy was traded for another.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I'm not a huge fan of zombie movies in general, usually. There are only, like, a few that I like. And even the first, like, 28 Days Later, I've never been as big a fan as everyone else. I don't know why. It just... zombie movies never grab me as much. But I always... Like, I still think it's a good movie, the first one. I can't remember the second one, really.
That one was not good.
With Jeremy Renner. And this one, I thought was fine. Mm-hmm. Like, I was entertained. I was surprised at all the people who were in it. I knew nothing about this movie. I saw the trailer in the movie theater, and that's it. So I was like, oh, dang, all these people popping up. But yeah, it was fine.
I think it's really... because they jumped so far forward in the timeline, I think it's a really cool idea that, like, England, the island, the UK as an island, I guess, didn't move on from it, so their technology and their ideas are kind of stuck in the 2000s forever. And I think that's why the ending does kind of work, is because if anyone has, like, dug into the lore, the Jimmies are, like, they're kind of emanating this big, I think it was a musician in the 2000s in the UK, and everyone loved him, and then only after he died, they found out that he was, like, a total creep. And so it's kind of funny how we have this, like, cult basically worshipping this guy who, if they knew anything outside their little bubble of an island, they would not be worshipping. I don't know, maybe they would. But it's just kind of cool. And so I really like that concept, that, like, it's not a worldwide zombie apocalypse. It's just affecting this one area, and no one really cares.
Yeah, everyone's like, anyway. Apparently, I mean, they left it open for a sequel, but I don't know what they would do. Like, what are you going to do?
Follow the Jimmies, I guess.
Another 28 days later.
It's going to be called something different. It's not going to follow that, whatever, format anymore.
Well, we skipped months, so
that's true.
I'm kind of
that's
upset
what I'm
about
saying.
that.
I thought they were going to make the next one months, but I feel like I heard somewhere that it's a completely different title. But who knows?
Interesting.
We will see. I'll see it. I'm a pretty big fan of these movies. I like the style. That's why I like... This one kind of emanated that style a little bit. I don't know if I loved the, like, POV zombie stuff that they did when they were, like, shooting the zombies and, like, the camera was on their back.
Didn't they do that in the other ones?
They did, but it was different. This one was, like, it was too jarring. I was like, I just want to see the kill. I don't need you to cut to a stylistic shot and then show it. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, when it kept, like, freeze framing and then
yeah it was like a video
that
game.
Was annoying to me.
That was annoying. They didn't do it too much, but that one scene I was like, this would have been cooler if they didn't do that.
Do it one time.
Yes
but they did it like every shot.
Every kill.
Like, okay. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, but it did emanate the shaky cam stuff and just, like, it's very British looking film. I thought that was really cool, and I think they also filmed it on one of those, like, UK islands where barely anyone lives, and it is kind of, like, stuck back in the past. So I really like that kind of stuff. So the vibes were all there. It was kind of cool. And
next we're gonna talk about a movie that we did not like as much. Unfortunately, we saw the new I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I was silenced.
I was gagged.
I was gagged and not in a good way.
Yeah. Wow. I'm kind of still in shock now that I'm thinking about it again. I kind of erased it from my mind after we left the theater. But yes, I'm remembering now that it was a real movie.
Certainly not canon in my book.
No. This... I don't know what happened. I don't know who... Well, I do know who was in charge. Apparently, it's the same lady who wrote Thor: Love and Thunder. Or partly wrote it or something. And I haven't seen that movie, but I've heard some stuff.
I couldn't get past 30 minutes of that movie.
This movie felt like it was written in like 2015-ish when they were just starting all these legacy sequels, and they were really trying to be like, guys, girl power, and guys suck. And that was like a hot thing for a while. I feel like that's kind of toned down as of late. People realize that people don't like that, and they stopped doing that. This movie goes full in with that, and you're like, wow, I feel like this was written a while ago, but then they shelved it, and now they're releasing
and it felt like they were like very consciously, if that was the case, they were very consciously updating it, because they used like TikTok buzzwords every other line basically, and it was so annoying. It felt so hello fellow kids.
Yes,
it was bad.
I mean, it pretty much started off horrible, just writing wise, acting wise. I was like, oh, this is very bad.
The conceit of we accidentally killed a person and went away makes no sense in this one. Because it wasn't technically that they killed the person, because, I mean, it was kind of their fault. But they could have easily called an ambulance and just said, hey, we saw this guy go over the edge. I mean, maybe the guy would have been angry that they were standing there and got them in legal trouble, but it's not like they would have been in big trouble like in the original.
No, and you can't do that. You can't be like, someone
they're the ones who
risked their lives to help me, therefore I'm suing them. Like,
but
no.
Yeah, their whole thing was, I don't understand it. I thought the whole thing was they were standing in the middle of the road, and so the guy had to swerve at the last minute, and that's how he got hurt. But I'm like, you wouldn't go to jail for that, would you? Do I just not know the laws?
I don't know.
Technically, the car would be in more trouble if the car were to hit them. But maybe if, I don't know. It just doesn't seem as
whipping around that.
Yeah,
corner.
You have to be slow on the corner. I would say it's more the driver's fault than their fault, even though they were being idiots. But that's just what you have to be aware of when you're driving. So immediately I was like, wait, what?
There was zero impact. Like the original, there's impact. Like, whoa, they just hit this guy, and like, what the heck? And this one it was kind of like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, it was too convoluted what was going on.
Yeah, and just the characters. What are these characters? Horrible.
Yeah.
They had the dumbest lines. They have, I will say this. The guy who was supposed to be, like, the jerk, the guy that no one likes, he was the most annoying one in the first act. I'm like, oh. And his acting was really bad, and the writing was really bad. I'm like, this guy's gotta go. Then, when we get into the story, like, when it's years later, and he's, like, all affected by what happened, he became my favorite character.
Me too. He was my favorite part.
He was great. He was hilarious. And, yeah, I really enjoyed, even, like, his little story arc.
Yeah.
But first, he's, like, trying to separate himself from the group, and then he really cares about this girl who he was gonna marry at one time, so he's like, no, I still gotta help out. I was like, wow. Someone got a character arc, so that's nice, I guess. Everything else, garbage. This random side plot where there was a girl who was in their friend group, but then they, like, lost touch because she was poor or something. So they go out of their way in the beginning to be like, hey, this is what happened with this character. And then they never speak about it again. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. When's it gonna come back and reveal that she's involved somehow? And sure enough, horrible writing. I could have written a better I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well, then we didn't even get to the big issue, was that they made Ray the bad guy. So my issue with most of these requels, if you will, is that the horror couples are always split up. But this took it a step further. Not only are they split up, but one of them is completely evil.
There's a couple of reasons why, and I think everyone, like, knows this by now, knows this twist, because it's becoming notorious where people either are down with it or people like, whoa, no. But it's, like, how are you gonna make Ray, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Ray. You all know him. You all know him.
He couldn't come up with a plan if he tried.
What was his biggest thing anytime he tried to fight with the villain? And he tried to use a weapon, it backfired so bad. He sucked. When he used a fist, he did a little better. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make him out like he's the mastermind killer.
I don't
buy
it.
He's chasing all these kids with his hook and the whatever gun and
I don't buy it for 1 single second.
Ray doesn't, as I've said many times before, Ray doesn't know his right foot from his left. Mm-mm. And we love him for that. I love Ray.
Me too.
Ray and Julie, I always thought, were such an underrated horror couple. Mm. I think that I Know What You Did Last Summer in general is pretty underrated. Mm-hmm. The first and the second movie, yes. The second movie is great.
Wildly underrated. That movie's good.
It's amazing. It wipes the floor so hard with this movie. And they have the balls in this movie to be like, reference it a little bit like, haha, everyone hates that movie. Like,
no.
I mean, hate that you're right, but yeah.
Listen, it's very cheesy. But it's so much fun, Jen.
That's because this movie was trying to do cheesy, but then took itself way too seriously. The second movie knows exactly what it is. Like, you're here for ridiculousness, and we're going to give it to you.
Self-awareness is key. That's how I feel about the Scream movies, too. They're, like, so self-aware that they're not self-aware anymore.
Yep. And I don't like the new Scream movies at all. I'd say they're way better than whatever this was.
Yeah, I would watch the 5th one again leagues before I would watch this one again.
I mean, at least Scream 5 has Jack Quaid.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If I had to pee, I wished that I needed to pee towards the end, because I was like, that is my get out of jail free card. I can walk out of this theater and take a break.
Yeah.
Which I did in Halloween Ends. Oh, I would say this is almost on par with Halloween Ends. It's not only because there wasn't so much writing on it, because it's not Halloween.
Yeah.
But it was really bad. It was like hard to sit through in the same way that Halloween Ends was.
1,000%. And I think that at the very least, Halloween Ends had better production. Yeah. At least.
Yeah. It felt more like a movie.
Yeah. A bad one. But something. I mean, and listen, I still would have hated this, but if they had at least, okay, let's really think. If Ray's gonna become psycho, lose his mind, become a killer, like, how's that gonna happen? What's gonna, like, mess with his mind that makes him, I'm gonna be the killer now, that makes him resent Julie so much? Like, I don't like that storyline at all, but at least we've been like, okay, you tried something, you put some effort into something, you tried to tell a story. They're just like, he's back as he's a man.
I also feel, yeah, well, there's that, but I also feel like it goes against the whole thing in the first movie where he was kind of the red herring. And it was kind of like, he's a fisherman. He's poorer than the rest of them. So it's kind of a message about class. And this completely undermines that. He's a fisherman, so of course he eventually became the fisherman killer.
Someone who's poor, obviously they're the killer.
Yeah, they're mad, so they're going to kill people.
And it makes so much more sense if you're going to do that for Julie to be the killer. She was always the one who was freaking out. She was the one who couldn't handle the trauma all the time, and she overcame that. But if you want to be like, she's finally snapping, then that would have made more sense. Even
again, I wouldn't have liked it, but it would have made a little bit more sense. That was so bad.
Explain how Ray is the killer. Explain. You can't.
They didn't.
It makes no sense. Oh,
I knew it was coming, and I was like, I just can't believe this. And throughout the entire last, 10 minutes of the movie, I was curled up on the side of my chair like, oh, God, what did they do? It was miserable, I tell you.
It was horrendous. I thought it was a joke. I was so confused when she's freaking out and she sees the picture of him with the other girl who was the killer. I'm like, What does that mean? I don't get what the, like, big music was. And I'm like, oh, they're trying to do another thing where they think he's the killer.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going, and it keeps going. I'm like, no, they're actually trying to say he's the killer.
Stupid.
And then you're just and then, yeah. You're laughing at the movie. Mm-hmm. Not with the movie, as you do in the second one.
Yes, exactly.
That's when he says, Ben's son.
Ben's son. I was keeled over. I was keeled over. And Ray was such a badass in that movie.
Oh, he showed up with the gun. It got his ass beat a little bit again, but kind of held his own.
And he spends the whole movie
trying
to cross world trip, almost.
Road trip. That is not the same character who is in this. Not at all.
Hashtag not my Ray.
Not my Ray at all. Not the same storyline. Like, get this movie out of here. I never want to think about it ever again.
I would like to stop talking about it.
Yes,
in fact,
we're gonna cease talking about it.
Cease and desist.
And we're gonna talk about
another crazy movie. I think.
Yes.
I know what the next one is.
I know what we saw this summer, and it was
Mithrigan 2.0.
Oh God!
Listen, I would never in my life say that this was better than the first one, but I didn't go into the theater expecting that because I saw the trailer. So I was like, I'm just ready for them to do crazy things and be girly pops, and I'm gonna laugh. And that's what happened. It was not a good movie, but I laughed in the theater and I had a good time. I didn't want to walk out like I did in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Exactly. They tried something. They went with it. There was no apology. It was like,
let's make fun of the girl who took a risk and put herself out there.
Exactly. Wow. I mean, it's weird because I like it kind of as its own thing.
Yeah.
I don't love it as a sequel to Megan because I'll always prefer the horror slasher rather than action comedy. But it's still, like, for what it was, it's like you said, it was, I mean, we saw it. Did we see it on the big IMAX screen?
It was a pretty big screen, if I remember.
It was really fun. It was a fun theater movie.
Yeah, I had a fun time.
It's wild to think about, though. I don't know why they made the decisions they did. I don't know what they were thinking. I think maybe, this baffles me, but maybe they thought they would be the next Terminator. Because the first Terminator is a little more horror, and the second one goes full action. I feel like they were trying to emulate that a little bit, which is funny. Wild.
That's really funny.
But yeah, I mean, you know, Megan's an icon.
She is, and she was no less of an icon in this movie.
Exactly. And yeah, it felt a little too superhero at some points where I'm like, ooh, let's not go down this path.
Yeah. I enjoyed the sequence at the like convention.
Yeah.
Where she had to pretend to be one of the pop people.
The dance wasn't as good.
No.
But yeah, you know, it was fun. It was fine.
I laughed. I kicked my little feet. I laughed.
Yep.
I left the theater with a smile on my face. You big disgrace. And that's all I was there for. That's really all I have to say.
I don't know if we're getting another one after this, though. I think they might have had their big shot.
Messed it up.
And I think they knew it was either going to be a huge win or just a fat fail. And this was kind of a fat fail if we're talking box office and reviews. So I don't know. If they do a third one, I'm sure they're going to go back to more horror. But I don't even know if they're going to get that, because who knows anymore. Which is kind of sad, because I was hoping this would be
a new franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of like...
You're kind of mad at the same time.
Why'd you take such a crazy risk?
Why did you put yourself out there?
Yeah. But, you know, I have to respect it a little bit.
Yeah. And as a non-fan of action movies, like, this is my kind of action movie. It's ridiculous, but you got a girl in a pink cyborg suit saying wild things, singing and dancing randomly. Like, that's my kind of
the flying squirrel suit.
The flying squirrel suit, that was insane. She turned into James Bond / Batman, which, you know,
She had a bat cave.
She literally had a bat cave. She was rolling around on... wasn't she, like, rolling around on a Segway or, like, some sort of weird scooter thing?
Roomba? I don't know what it was. God.
That was crazy.
I don't know what that guy is, but...
That's, yeah. My reaction.
It's a piece of history now, so...
I would watch it again. It might take me a few years, but I'd watch it again. What else did we see?
Well, we saw Together.
Another strange film. Listen, I didn't hate it.
This was a summer of strange choices.
It was. There's just a lot of, like, odd movies this stretch of summer. But, I mean, I really enjoyed when this movie was more comedy than when it was serious. I think the best scene is when their arms are melding together in the middle of the night. They're, like, being dragged across the hallway towards each other. And then they're, like, trying to take pills, muscle relaxers. And they're, like, crushing it up on the floor and snorting it so it goes into effect faster. That was really fun. And it also showed, like, the whole time, you know that they're, like, too codependent and you don't really want them to be together. And in that scene, I was kind of like, wait, I am rooting for them, kind of, because they had, like, good comedic chemistry in that moment.
Yeah.
And they made a good team in that moment. But, yeah, I mean, I think this movie is just my nightmare. Like, being with someone that I slowly hate, but we're slowly getting more and more tied together until we just surrender.
I surrender. Literally share a body.
Yep. I don't think it was a happy ending.
No. And I kind of, like, I wish it was a little bit more, you cared about the couple more. Mm-hmm. I get they have to have, like, the tension and everything, but I was so, like, they're so not into each other. Yeah. And I didn't really buy it at the end when they were finally like,
yeah,
forget it, I'll do it. I'm like,
That's why I took it as it's a nightmare, but they didn't seem to think so. So I was like,
all of a sudden there was a switch, and I kind of wanted, like, I love when movies trick you, where by the end you're rooting for the crazy thing to happen. Yeah. And it's this messed up happy ending. Yeah. I was hoping they'd go that route, but instead I was just like...
I feel like they were trying to do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't get there, personally.
There were some really good scares, though, which I was very happy about. Uh-huh. Because the thing with when people are trying to do horror comedies is they kind of just like, we don't need to put effort into, like, suspenseful or scary stuff. It just needs to be silly and funny. And
Hell of a Summer? I said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But, yeah, there was definitely some moments where there were, like, the classic boo scares, but also...
There was one that annoyed me.
Scares that, like... they don't put that sound there, and it's just something there, and you're like,
yeah,
it's that internal jump. You're like,
you know what was one of the best ones? Well, I almost jumped into Emily's lap in the theater because of the one at the beginning with, is it like the mom that he's seeing?
I think so,
under the covers. That was really scary. But then I think my favorite one was when Alison Brie just suddenly starts running down the hallway, and you don't have any time to, like, process what's happening, and then she's there. Oh,
and I could so see it coming because the way they framed the shot. I'm like, and something's gonna...
fogged glass, like, oh.
Yeah, there was
that type of stuff scares.
Yeah. There were some really well-filmed moments. I think it was a very well-directed movie.
Mm-hmm. I think it was a cool concept, too.
Yes. And as someone who's not a body horror fan, there was... most of the story and everything I was like, I could get on board with. I'm like, okay, yeah. 'Cause I don't know what it is, but with most body horror movies, I just don't... I'm like, I would never see myself in this situation, and everyone's acting like not a human, so I don't connect with them very much. And this, I feel like, I don't know when this was written and everything, but it feels like they were definitely trying to... You know, the substance was a huge thing, and they were maybe trying to be like, oh, us next?
Yeah. I don't think it got to substance levels.
No, because when they completely shot themselves in the foot is the last shot. The last shot. Body horror famously needs to be all practical effects, or it does not work. And I was very pleased with the substance, because I thought for sure, I'm like, yeah, it's calling itself a body horror, but I'm sure it's all gonna be CG. But it was not. They had, like, some enhancements, which I don't think they needed, but whatever. but most of it was practical makeup and effects. And I was like, yes, this is why it works. This is why everyone's loving it. And so I assumed, now that everyone has seen how successful that is, with anything that comes after, they'd be like, okay, we really need to stick with all practical. But no, their last big shot of this crazy movie where they're like half melded together in this crazy thing is all CG. And it looks so dumb. It looks so silly. I'm like, what did you just do? And then for whatever, like the 2 minutes left, you're just kind of feeling like,
Yeah.
just disappointed. They did have, there's this thing in the cave towards the end of these other people.
That was cool.
That looked good. Why couldn't you just do that again?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, wait. We just saw, and then you did this.
They got too scared. They wanted it to look too clean and perfect, and it can't look like that. Look at the end of The Substance. That didn't look clean and perfect, and it looked messy and messed up and gross.
It's almost like that's the point.
Yeah. Oh, that kind of irritated me. As someone who's not even a huge body horror fan, I'm like, even I know that's where you don't mess up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't appreciate that shot.
Yeah, that sucked.
I feel like I was really, like, into it up until when they officially meld together.
Yeah.
Then I was like, the shot with the eyes is cool. The one that they used for all the posters. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. They were the whole time they're teasing it. This is going to be insane. And it's just...
It was... I'll forget about it in a year.
Yeah. I forget about it now, what it looked like, except it was dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. But, points for concept.
Yes.
Points for the horror comedy balance.
Points for a real-life couple doing this.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool.
What a fun job to do together.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I would think. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I would wonder the whole time. I was like, what if this revealed something about my relationship? If I were to film a movie with my partner like this, I'd be like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It was interesting. Interesting to think about the whole time. I'm like, I kept reminding myself, like, they are a real couple.
Yeah.
So when they're filming this, like, what's going through their heads?
I thought the chemistry when they hated each other was really good, and the chemistry when they were kind of working together was really good. So everything was so believable. So it was weird that they were a real life couple.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think it was definitely worth the trip to the theater. It was worth putting money towards something that's unique.
Was it a neon?
Yeah.
I want to say it was.
I think so.
I tend to like to put money into neon movies. We saw Weapons after that, right?
Saw, technically we saw Superman next, but
yeah.
we did see Weapons, the other horror movie of the summer.
Yes. Another one, I feel like I would rate these at the same level.
Yeah.
Like, cool concepts, some great
scare
elements. Yeah, great scares. But, I don't know. I feel like this one was a little all over the place for me. It is what my complaint would be.
Same.
I feel like if they'd stuck to the concept that's at the core of the movie and went from there, it would have been stronger for me. I feel like they kind of meandered in a few areas. I do like the structure of the story, how it would tell a different character's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And I enjoyed the goofy turn at the end, personally, when they're all the kids run after. And you know what? Gladys, she's pretty iconic.
She's
I
an
have
icon.
to say. And I've been seeing little, like, the Instagram videos of people dressed up as her, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she's quite an iconic face.
It's a cool look.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I really enjoyed it. I'd watch it again, but I think it's flawed.
Yeah. This one went a bit too into comedy for me, especially since the trailer was so ultra serious.
It was.
That I'm like, wow, this is going to be like a no messing around horror movie, which isn't that common nowadays. Everything has to throw the comedy in there.
That's true.
And I could tell from the opening credits, I'm like, oh, they're going to be more jokey with this. And it didn't work as well for me.
The message just got convoluted. And I also think the main character was really insufferable.
I couldn't tell.
The teacher.
Yeah. And I couldn't. You spend so little time with her. You
Yeah.
spend the first act.
She's not really the main character, I guess.
Yeah, by the end.
Gladys is the main character.
Gladys is the main character. By the end, when you go back to her and you remember, oh yeah, this started with the teacher, it kind of loses the steam, because you're like, I don't feel like I'm like, yeah,
it
rooting for
meanders
her
a bit too much, which could be a consequence of that structure that they were doing, even though it was inventive, or not inventive, it was just like fun. I do think that by the time it wraps up, you feel like, wait,
she should have been more involved in the other sections.
Yeah, it was too separate.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that, but I just remember being really infuriated with all the stupid decisions that she makes. That must have been intentional, but I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. At the end, when she sees the cop guy walk out and go like this, would you go into that house?
No.
Would you go into the house if you saw a big cop in the shadows walk out of a dark house and beckon you forward? Would you go in? Even if you knew the cop? No.
When you know something shady's going on.
Yeah, when you know that something weird is happening in that house. By then I was like, I don't know how she survived.
She left her car unlocked when she was sleeping in front of it.
Crazy. She walks out of her house, leaving her front door open. It's like all the classic things. So I'm like, it must have been intentional, but why?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? I really liked the section of the movie. I think the section of the movie I enjoyed the most was when it followed the little boy. Mm-hmm. That was when I felt like it could have been like a short film almost.
Yeah.
That was when I felt
like
the movies. It might have been. The movie's messaging and the real story that it wanted to tell came through so clearly in that one, and it was done really well. And it was kind of it was heartbreaking. But then that makes the like goofy ending at the end where all the kids just go crazy. It makes it really like cathartic and like, yeah, I'm into this. So that point on in the movie,
but also good. It's kind of the same thing where we didn't really spend a lot of time with the kid or all the kids that got taken. So I feel if it was interspersed throughout the movie more of like, what's going on with the kids? Do they know what's going on? Are they suffering? Because then them like getting their revenge would be really like, yes, I've been waiting all movie for this.
I think it would have been cool if we only followed the kid and the teacher, and then it might have done flashbacks to like what the class was like and how they treated each other before everything happened.
Yep.
And then focusing on the kid's home life and the teacher being accused of all these awful things. Like,
it needed a better focus.
Yeah, I think if it just focused a little bit more. And there was like this article that came out where someone interpreted it as like commentary on like how drag queen story hour is like parents are scared about that because Gladys is like, she has her look going.
Yeah.
And so people interpret it as like homophobic and racist and all of this. And I didn't interpret it that way, but I think it does speak to an underlying issue where they had too many ideas and they weren't really sure what the main idea was. And even when you listen to like the director in interviews, he said something like with the gun floating over the house, it was like, I don't really know what it means, but that's fun because then people can come up with their own thing. I'm like, well, that could be dangerous because of this article that came out that was saying that it was all these things. But it's also just kind of sloppy.
Yeah. I could do that. I could take a video right now of, like, a freaking dust particle on a desk. And be like,
this means something.
This is cinema because it means something. Don't ask me what it means. I don't know. You need to interpret it. That doesn't make it a good movie. Automatically. Another thing is I think they gave the twist away way too early. Because I was so excited this whole movie, like, before I saw it, and the way they said it, I'm like, whoa, okay, I want to know what happened. Like, why did the kids leave? Why is it just this class? Why is the teacher getting blamed? And I feel like not even all the way through the first act, you're like, oh, a witch. I was kind of like, I wanted it to be a mystery for a bit longer.
I wanted it to be more of, like, more intricate, I guess.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen.
It's made by the same producers as Barbarian? What is it?
I think director?
Okay.
Isn't it the same director?
Well, if that's the case,
Barbarian did that fantastically.
Yeah, that's what Barbarian did. So I think that's why I was expecting it. And this movie definitely made me want to go back and watch Barbarian, which I did very shortly after, because I was like, this did a cool, original, crazy, wacky idea way better.
the same style too, of different perspectives.
It changes.
But it's long enough to establish the character. It's all tied to this one thing. Mm-hmm. It just feels very clean, where this movie was like all over the place.
It was not clean.
However, there were some really, really good spooky moments, really good cinematography and sound design and all that. There were moments we saw it in IMAX. I'm in this theater, helpless, like, oh god, what's gonna happen? Oh god, I can't move, I can't look away. Much like Barbarian, when we saw it, it was like, you're like holding on to your seat, like, no. There were a couple moments like that which were very good.
Yeah.
Your favorite being when Josh Brolin is looking with the flashlight in the basement.
So when all of the kids are in the basement and he's looking for his son with the flashlight, I turned to Emily and I was, oh my god, Gladys is gonna be there and she's gonna be making some crazy face and I'm gonna be mad because I'm gonna get scared even though I know exactly what's gonna happen. And it happened.
Yep. I love stuff like that. You know the scare is coming and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm still gonna get scared, and then it happens, you're like, Christ!
Yep. It felt like the game on the old Wii, when you'd have to search for your Miis. When you have to search for your Mii, the two matching Miis in the dark.
Find the odd Mii out.
And that's what, they stand in those little triangle shapes. That's how you stand when you're, like, resetting a video game character.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing did you hear what that pose is inspired by?
It's not the Naruto?
No, It's inspired by... Have you seen that picture of, I think, it's of during the Vietnam War or, like, the Korean War or something? There's a little child who's, like, has, like, the napalm gas or, like, that.
I have seen that.
And she's running with her arms out like that. It's inspired by that. Which I think... The main message that I got from the movie, which I wish they would have just, like, stuck to more cohesively, was the fact that... all the, like, vices and bad things that adults do affect kids the most, unfairly. And so I think, like, with that being the inspiration for the run, that is really impactful to that message. But again, the message was kind of just all over the place.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that at all, because we were so focused on all the adults. Mm-hmm. We barely saw the kids.
Once it was the kid, that was kind of like, I started getting the message.
Yeah. Yeah, a confusing movie.
Yeah.
But, once again, something original. Mm-hmm. Something, they tried stuff. Mm-hmm. Better than I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes, I would watch it way before I would watch I Know What You Did Last Summer again.
Yes, agreed.
And then we watched Superman.
Yes, we did. We saw some superhero movies. One of them being Superman, which I didn't mind.
I thought it was fun. I liked it. It's not perfect. Like, every superhero movie, I feel like, adds too many characters who are, like, dumb.
And they're just like, oh, you know these characters from this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's
no,
like,
I don't.
What happened to a straightforward, good old-fashioned superhero movie? I got Superman and superhero confused.
Although I did really like the guy with
the pods.
Yeah,
he was cool. Because you actually spent time with him. You didn't spend time with the other people. And they are from other projects. So it's doing the Marvel thing, which I don't like. And I thought the main bad character who had power, she had, like, the nano something in her blood. I really didn't like the effects. I didn't like anything to do with that character.
No.
I thought Lex Luthor was a lot of fun, though.
Nicholas Hoult. Fabulous.
What a fun Lex Luthor.
He said, oh, I'm playing the villain?
Let me go all the way.
I really, really liked the guy who plays Superman. What's his name again? It's
David Cornsweet.
David Cornsweet.
I've been a fan of him for a long time. I've watched a lot of, like, random Netflix stuff he's in, and I've always enjoyed him. And so and almost in everything he's, like, I know he's in Twisters, so there you go. I'm obviously a fan. But they make a comment in Twisters where someone says, "Why is Clark Kent yelling at me?" And so, like, it's a common joke throughout his career that he looks like Superman. So when I heard that he was going to play Superman, I was like, oh, yes, my boy. So I was very excited, and I think he did an excellent job. And I love this version of Superman. I was not a fan, as much as I like Henry Cavill as an actor, I was not a fan of Henry Cavill's Superman because he was too angsty. And I think a lot of people have said this.
Yes.
I love this Superman because I've always been non-interested in Superman because he seems too perfect. And like too stoic about being perfect. But this Superman, he's good, and like you think, oh, that's like a good human. He's not flawed like a Batman or a Tony Stark, but he still feels real.
Yeah.
He does have flaws, and
It's not perfect.
yeah, and oh, it's just good. I really enjoyed it. He's just like a good guy, and that should be celebrated too, rather than like it feels like. I always rooted for the bad guy who turns good, the anti-hero. When like it's punk rock to root for just the good guy. and we needed to see that, because even when we did see the good guy, it was always like I don't relate to him still. So this was great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him a lot. I think it so could have been horrendous if that character wasn't written the way he was and acted the way he was. But like he was kind of a goofball.
Yeah.
And I just was so rooting for him the whole time. I'm like, I need this guy and his, stupid CG dog, whatever, to succeed. And yeah, we start off like he's not, I feel like, I don't know, I haven't seen Man of Steel in, I don't even know how long, but he just was like we were saying, like a Gary Stu, as they say.
Exactly, yeah.
Where nothing really affects him. This guy's like, he's struggling a lot of the time, but he is going to keep going, and he's going to persevere. And he will do it with like a little comedic...
A little bit of comedic sass.
Yes. He's very sassy at times, which is nice.
But in a wholesome way.
Yes.
Not like a Tony Stark way. I think this movie proved me wrong and right at the same time. Because I always thought, seeing the Superman that I had, which was... I watched the older Superman movies, but I mostly have seen Henry Cavill as Superman. And the same thing I would say with Captain America. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I feel this way about Captain America, where it is the Gary Stu. He's not relatable, he's too perfect, and it seems like he's full of himself. And the movie also is like full of the characters.
Yeah.
They're so perfect, they're so great. They're the good. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't buy into this. And so in my mind, I'm like, the better hero is the one who's flawed and does the wrong thing and has weird trauma like Batman does. But not so in this Superman movie, and it still worked. So I appreciated it.
Yep. I was entertained, pleasantly surprised. Didn't think I would like it at all. But it was very fun to see in the theater as well. Very fun action scenes. Effects, it's still CG, doesn't look great. But, at some point...
The suit, I'm still not... I don't know. I feel like the blue, I don't like the shade of blue that they used for the suit.
It was fine. I didn't feel too strongly about it either way. Yeah, it was fun.
I liked it.
We also watched, not in the theater, but at home, we watched Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Which was, again, it was fine. I didn't mind it. I liked that it was kind of different.
Yeah. It had a whole different tone. It felt more, like, grungy and less plastic than most of the superhero movies we've been getting recently, which I appreciated. It was, like, prettier, I guess, in that way.
Yeah.
It felt more self-contained, because it did take characters from outside, and I didn't like, the beginning of Bucky's storyline was, like, it's too much going on. But, once they all just got together and did their mission, it felt like obviously high stakes, but not, like, Avengers-level high-stakes movie, and I feel like we need that more. It was kind of like Agatha All Along, where it's like, it's self-contained, it doesn't feel like it matters to every part of the Marvel Universe. It's just, they're telling a story, and it's a fun adventure, and so I liked that aspect of it.
And I guess they're the new Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't know until I watched the movie, because I don't pay attention to the Marvel news anymore.
It's always
Although I'm
all
slowly
over
getting
my
back
feed.
into it because I have to know what's going on with Wiccan now, so
Here
we go. But yeah, I didn't know that was happening at all, so I was kind of like, I don't know.
We'll see.
Because I liked that they were kind of just random people, but I also think that's super funny. You take the most random characters and be like, you're the Avengers, and they're like...
I think it also so sums up with what Marvel is right now.
Yeah,
They're like, this is who we've got. We've got to do something with them.
Yep. Who still has the contract going?
Yeah, it's all the newer people.
I think David Harbour was definitely a standout.
Oh, he was so fun. I really like that character.
Yeah, his comedic timing with this character is amazing.
Really good.
And his chemistry with Florence Pugh, I think, is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like her in this role. I liked her in
too.
Black Widow, and this continued in this
Yeah.
movie. I think this is, like, the best performance she's given. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of her movies. Midsommar, Don't Worry, Darling. But I think her deadpan humor, it works so well.
Yeah.
I love it. And I am excited to see her. I wasn't sure about her being like the face of this new group, but I think I'm very intrigued now.
Yeah.
She proved in this movie that the character can take that on, I think, which I wasn't sure. I mean, Black Widow, she was more on the side, so I'm like, I don't know if she's got the main character energy, but she definitely did. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed her her connection with what's his name?
Bob.
I actually kind of enjoyed that, especially
Me too.
towards the end. I'm like, I'm liking this because she's gone through
it.
And she's normally like the kind of, I don't really care about anything. I'm just here to do my thing type of gal. And instead she has to like step up and be like, I need to help this guy by like relating to him, and she like ends up really caring about him. And it was like, oh, that's a nice character development for her, because at first she literally didn't care about anyone, and now she's like, she can relate to someone who's gone through stuff.
Yeah, that's what I liked, that the main conflict was so character focused rather than like setting up a big villain for a next movie, or just making it this big mission where everyone's more pawns than characters. So I think it just went more simple, and I think we've needed that reset for a while with Marvel.
Yeah, I was okay with it. And that feels nice to say.
I didn't come away from a Marvel movie feeling like my brain was put in a blender and smushed up and given back to me and been told, this is what it looks like when your brain is on Marvel drugs.
Because we've seen it. I've seen Captain America, Brave New World.
I didn't watch it. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame.
We haven't seen Fantastic Four. It doesn't look good, you guys.
I'll wait until it's out of theaters. I'm not going to say it's not good, but I don't know. It's just not pulling me in.
No. I'm sorry, Pedro. But I'm not.
Well, he doesn't have a great track record, I have to say.
Pedro's been missing.
Let's be honest. When was the last time he was in a great project?
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
The Last of Us Season 1 wasn't awful. I'll say that.
I didn't like it. But, he's that guy. I feel like he's what Tom Holland started to be for a second.
Yeah,
Where, like, just put him in everything.
Yeah.
Just put him there.
And it does not matter the quality.
Yeah. I'm just very protective over the old Fantastic Four
me too.
movies.
It's kind of a bias, I have to admit.
Those were... it was X-Men and that. Fantastic Four. And Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Those were my superhero trifecta when I was really young, like preschool, we're talking. I know everyone hates the Fantastic Four movies, although people are pretending that they've liked them the whole time now, which is interesting.
Of course.
Yeah.
We knew it.
Yep. But yeah, I think I don't know if I'll be able to let it go, I'll be honest. It's kind of like with the new X-Men movies, I feel like I would like them more if I hadn't grown up with that first trilogy, because I'm like, no, these are the X-Men, not these people, even though Sophie Turner, I love you. But, you know. And same with Spider-Man. I was resistant to Tom Holland for a long time. I was like, I don't want this kid. Because even Andrew Garfield, like, we were still pretty young when those came out. And we were like, kind of like, what's the new Spider-Man? But then we ended up really liking it. And then they were announcing, okay, now we're going with this guy. And I was like, no. Tom Holland, no. He is not Spider-Man. I don't want to see it. I don't want any part of it. But then, of course, ended up really liking it. And liking him. I think he's honestly, like, his movies are the most hope I have at this point for Marvel. But so yeah, maybe I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's hot. I'm tired. I don't know if I'm gonna like Fantastic Four, because I don't know if I can let go of Ye Olden Times, because it was such a different time for superhero movies. They're very differently made movies. I think they're much better made movies back in the day. Yes. And I don't know, just the whole vibe of this one. I know, I guess more comic accurate, which I'm sure that's nice for people. It doesn't matter to me. That's not what I grew up with, and it's not what I really want to see. So it's kind of like when they made the X-Men trilogy, the first one, they weren't in their comic accurate outfits. They're just in black leather.
Yeah.
And people are making fun of that, like, oh, come on, put them in the yellow suits. But me, I'm like, no, the black leather is X-Men. What are you talking about?
I know. That's my X-Men. It's also like the Fantastic Four movies are very 2000s. So, like, they're of their time. Obviously, yes. If they were made today, I would be like, come on now. Are we living in 2004? But they just hold a special place in my heart.
Johnny Storm. Chris Evans is Johnny Storm. Come on.
One of my first crushes, it was Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man and Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. Yep. And forever will they be my first loves.
Yep. I really like Joseph Quinn, but I'm like,
I know I don't see it, but I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say.
Yeah.
Was that all? I mean, I guess personally, I watched all of Game of Thrones in the last few weeks. It didn't take me long. It was all right. I wasn't blown away. The ending completely infuriated me, as I know it did many other people. That's all I can say. My favorite characters are Tyrion and Sansa, and that's all.
Those are my favorites too, and I haven't seen the whole show.
I think you've seen what you needed to see, because their scenes are the best. Personally.
Yes.
I only watched it because Louis Dupontelec is in it, Jacob Anderson. His character arc was devastating.
Damn.
I was so disappointed at where he ended up at the end of everything. But, you know, it was a fun watch. He was a cool character while he lasted, but then
he didn't die.
Happened. No, he didn't die. He made it out. So we've got...
And speaking of dying, Pedro was in Game of Thrones.
He was. What an incredible death. He was a great character. He's one of my favorite characters, too.
Hey.
He kind of haunts the narrative in a way that makes the show take a turn down toilet lane, but unfortunately, everyone probably knows what I'm talking about who's a fan of Game of Thrones. Yeah, everyone who's a fan of Game of Thrones probably knows what I'm talking about, because I think that plot line that follows after his death is a commonly hated plot line. But yeah, I think the first 4 seasons are really, like, they're all really engaging, and like the quality is kept up. Season 2, the Dragon Daenerys storyline was pretty dumb and, like, low stakes. But other than that, everything was, like, really consistent. And then after they stopped following the books, season 5 was, like, you could feel that it was scrambling. But then it ended pretty well. Season 6 was kind of, like, up and down the whole time. Season 7, you could feel that the show was changing, and maybe, like, the creators were, like, burnt out or something. And then season 8, it was clear they were just like, we gotta finish this, and so we're gonna throw all this crap at you, and you're gonna be happy about it. And no one was happy about it, so... I
was happy that Sansa's queen...
Yeah, she had a good ending. Everyone else... Why did they make Bran the king? Why would you make that boy the king?
That boring guy?
That is the last person I would have chosen. He's not even human anymore. He says the whole time, I'm not really human, I'm the three-eyed raven. Why would you want that dude on the throne?
Sounds like something they'd say in Riverdale.
They made Tyrion the hand of the king, which probably means that Tyrion's going to mostly be doing king stuff.
King shit.
King shit. He's always doing king shit.
He should be king. Why was it? I feel like everyone would have liked that if he was king.
He was too... By the end, they were about to kill him, so there was no way.
Oh, dang.
He was too... It was too complicated, basically. Jaime Lannister, they did him dirty. They did everyone dirty. Jon Snow, I didn't even like him as a character, but by the end of season 8, I was like, why are you doing this to him? He's my boy, but even though he isn't. But it was just so bad. Anyway, it's over now. And now I'm watching The House of the Dragon, which is not great. But, you know, I haven't finished, so we'll see.
I've been watching Dead Boy Detectives, and I think it's really fun. I really enjoy it. It reminds me of, like, I don't know, Haunting Hour, Goosebumps, that kind of thing. It's like, I should have waited for Spooky season to watch it, but anywho, yeah, I've only watched, like, 3 episodes, because it's only 1 season, because they canceled that shit, and apparently a lot of people are not happy. I feel like I will not be happy because I feel like they're going to leave a lot open-ended at the end, and I will not be satisfied. But so far, I love it. It's completely up my alley, and I will definitely be looking into the graphic novels after I'm done with this show.
Graphic novels!
I've been getting into graphic novels as of late. Diary of a Wimpy Kid was the only ones that I read back in the day, and the only ones I liked. But ever since Heartstopper opened up an entire new gate for me, I've just been, you know, going crazy looking at all these new graphic novels and like, I actually really like this form of storytelling, and even better when they turn it into a lovely show like Heartstopper or Dead Boy Detectives. But I will be giving my thoughts whenever I finish the show. It will be some time, because I don't want it to be over and me to be disappointed. I just want to bask in this happiness right now. Yeah, that's what I've been watching.
I think that pretty much sums it up. All the biggins that we've been watching. It's hot in my room. It's a hot day today. It's a hot one today. A 90-degree high. It's summertime. It's the beginning of school. I'm stressed. We're stressed. We're here. We out here.
I'm rambling.
We're excited to get back into the season. Stranger Things 5 is on the horizon. We are guaranteeing you, well, I don't know, guaranteeing, because there was a time when I deleted all of my own audio files, so I can't guarantee you anything, folks.
No.
But we will have a 3-episode breakdown of Stranger Things to commemorate the very end, around the time that season 5 is going to come out, obviously. So this season will be very fun. If you hate Stranger Things, actually, will probably not be very fun.
You probably aren't listening to our show.
You probably clicked off long ago. But anyway, I'm excited. What's our next episode going to be, Emily?
We are going to be talking about the new Conjuring movie, and I'm so excited.
Ted and Lorraine, as I always say.
God,
Ed and Lorraine Warren are coming back to the big screen
for their final case, you
final
guys.
Case. Supposedly. I bet in 10 years they're going to come back.
The Conjuring New Beginnings.
Yeah. It's going to be their daughter, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Son of Conjuring.
Conjuring. We're excited. We will be in the theater. We will be here reporting to you.
Our first time seeing a Conjuring movie in the theater.
Oh, that's right, because the other one had to come out on streaming. This is so true.
Guys, these movies can get freaking scary.
They can.
So this might be an intense
They're like
ride.
very like not scary until they are.
The Conjuring 2 is one of the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch that alone, I don't think.
I don't think I could. Definitely not at night. Yeah, maybe.
And I did. The first time I watched it, I did exactly that. I watched it alone.
So you could do it. You just didn't enjoy it.
Well, other people were in the house though, so I wasn't really alone. But it was night, and I was alone in my room watching it. And for whatever reason, I was fine.
Oh, I don't think
I've watched it since, and I'm like, woo! God
that movie scared me.
So I don't know what this one's gonna be like.
Yeah, we'll see. The third one wasn't as scary as the second one.
Yeah.
It was more.
But I loved it. Everyone hated.
So they might take that pivot into trying to make it more scary.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we'll let you know. That'll be our next episode.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for our cute little edits.
Edits! I'm gonna be making Instagram edits.
I'll make an Ed Lorraine Warren edit if we reach 50 subscribers.
Oh my gosh, we should. We should do that anyway.
Yes, I would do that anyway. And subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple Podcasts. I forget what I used to say. Spotify. All the places. We're most places.
Most places.
And that's all for this episode, the first episode of season 4.
And we will catch you on the flick side.